Welcome to Profiles of Excellence, a salute to 5 Bay Area Asian Pacific Americans. We'll meet number 61, Jesse Sapolu, veteran offensive lineman for the San Francisco 49ers, and California Supreme Court Justice Ming Chen, who is well respected for his ability to handle some of the most difficult legal issues this state has ever seen. Then we'll talk to poet, artist, choreographer, and community activist Janice Mirikitani about her efforts to help the poor and homeless at Glide Church in San Francisco. And we'll hear from Silicon Valley businesswoman Pauline Low-Alker about her success as president and CEO of Network Peripherals Incorporated. Then we'll catch up to John Nguyen, who is president of the American Viet League, the first refugee organization to reach out and help non-refugee clients. And now, Profiles of Excellence.
Hello and welcome to Profiles of Excellence. I'm David Louie.
And I'm Sydney Kohara. We are here at the Asian Art Museum in Golden Gate Park. It is the largest museum in the Western world devoted exclusively to the arts of Asia. Currently on exhibit is Mingei, 2 centuries of Japanese folk art, the most significant exhibition ever presented in the United States. We're going to see more of this art as we salute 5 Bay Area Asian Pacific Islanders for their contributions. Our first profile is one of the National Football League's premier offensive linemen and one of the finest to ever wear a San Francisco 49er uniform. On the field, Jesse Sapolu possesses strength, agility, and technique. Off the field, he provides inspiration, advice, and stability to newer team members.
The younger players look at me as somebody that's been here for a long time and hasn't changed much since I was a rookie here. My attitude has always been positive, and I'm not all of a sudden become an outspoken leader on this team because I have 14 years under my belt. I think it's more of try to be the same, maybe a little bit more vocal as far as helping instead of scolding a younger player. I think in the long run, a lot of players have respected me because of that.
Jesse Sapolu was born in Western Samoa. His parents moved the family to America because they wanted their children to have more opportunities.
I looked at athletics as a way to be accepted in society here in America because of my lack of ability to speak English. And I think my athletic ability was one way that the kids befriended me real quick. And then as we went on, they gave me an opportunity to get a free scholarship to go to college, and that was my goal at the time because my parents definitely couldn't afford to pay for my college education.
Jesse was drafted by the San Francisco 49ers in the 11th round of the 1983 draft. Through the years, he has demonstrated his agility and versatility on the team.
When I came here, the 49er organization taught me how to become a world champion. I was never a champion in high school, I was never a champion in college. And once you get a little taste of it, you almost become obsessed with it.
From the 44, they fake it to Floyd, Young to the air, Young to Jerry Rice, touchdown San Francisco.
Jesse Sapolu is the only 49er team member who owns 4 Super Bowl rings. He explains why he's proudest of Super Bowl 23.
Oh, I was hurt for a couple years, broken bone here, broken bone there. And then to make it back, and that very next year we won the Super Bowl in Miami, and that one of the greatest Super Bowl games ever played, with the Joe Montana drive that we took something like 93 yards to win the game. To be able to make it back through adversity and winning that Super Bowl game was probably my proudest moment. There's been a lot of proud moments in my career here, but that was like a signature that I was all the way back.
Another achievement for number 61 came 11 years after he started playing for the 49ers. He was named the NFC starting center in the Pro Bowl following the 1993 season and cherished the opportunity to play in Hawaii, where he grew up.
There was a time when I never thought I could go back to Aloha Stadium and play, but knowing that I have the opportunity now, it feels really good.
Jesse, they might rename him King Kamehameha over there,
The following year, Jesse was selected once again to the Pro Bowl, this time as a guard, accomplishing the rare feat of being All-Pro at 2 different positions. He hopes to play long enough with the 49ers to earn a 5th Super Bowl ring.
This game has been great to me, and this organization has been unbelievable, and I have no regrets, but definitely I'm starting to see the light at the other side of the tunnel. I could see when I want to retire, and I've been very fortunate.
Earlier this year, the subject of our next profile was appointed to the Supreme Court of California. He was previously the presiding justice of the First District Court of Appeal in San Francisco and was a judge of the Alameda County Superior Court. Before his appointment to the bench, Justice Ming Chin was a partner in an Oakland law firm.
As the governor has said, I have come a very long distance to be with you today.
On January 25, 1996, Justice Ming Chin was nominated to serve on the Supreme Court of California. Ming Chin grew up on a potato farm in Oregon. He was the youngest of 8 children. His parents immigrated to the United States from China in the early 1900s. They wanted him to live closer to his junior high school, so he spent weekdays with a family friend who was a trial judge.
Judge Vandenberg invited me to live with him. He really introduced me to the law. Took me down to his chambers, took me to the courtroom, gave me law books to read, and really tweaked my interest in the judicial process.
After receiving his law degree in 1967, Ming Chin began the steady climb which led to his appointment by Governor Pete Wilson to the Supreme Court of California. He was successful in private practice, excelled as a Superior Court judge, and was one of the most highly respected appellate judges in the state.
I've been preparing for this job all of my professional life. I've done probably everything that there is to do in private practice, and then serving on the Alameda Superior Court and the Court of Appeal. I think that broad base of experience will give me a clearer insight into the very difficult problems that come before the Supreme Court. Certainly, being the son of Chinese immigrants helps in broadening that perspective. My parents had absolutely no formal education. Didn't attend grammar school, didn't attend high school, and certainly didn't attend college. And yet those 2 people were probably among the very best teachers I have ever known.
When I was the program chair last year, I attended...
Despite an extremely demanding schedule, Justice Chin still finds time to volunteer on a number of committees and boards. He is chair of the Executive Committee of the Commonwealth Club of California.
I have always been active and involved in the community. I think it's important for those of us in public life not to get isolated from the community.
Justice Chin is a true West Coaster coming from Oregon and going to law school at USF, teaching at USF, practicing in the East Bay. And now
throughout the years, Justice Chin has won the respect of many individuals and groups. He's been described as extremely fair and knowledgeable, thorough and thoughtful by lawyers and jurists alike. He is often called upon to participate in community events, such as the 80th anniversary of the Legal Aid Society of San Francisco, where he presented Community Service Awards.
They are an outstanding example of what lawyers ought to be doing to improve the quality of life in our communities.
There have also been a number of events where he's been honored for his abilities and accomplishments, including this gala celebration of the Alameda County Bar Foundation. Despite all of the recognition, Justice Chin has never forgotten his heritage and upbringing.
My parents came from the old country. They had the old country tradition and values. They gave me a great sense of who I was, gave me a great sense of value, and I think I bring all of that to my current position.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present our friend, Ming William Chin, Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of California. Ming Chin.
Sydney and I will be back with the woman who has helped turn a church into a valuable community resource in San Francisco and the most successful Asian American woman entrepreneur in the high-tech industry.
Welcome back, everyone. Our next profile is so versatile that she is as effective and comfortable in a corporate boardroom as she is in the community. Her poetry and choreography have also received critical acclaim. But it is Janice Mirikitani's work for the Glide Foundation and Glide Church Urban Center that has provided so much to the poor and homeless of the Bay Area.
You know, when I came to Glide 30 years ago, I was wandering in the dark. I didn't know who I was, invisible. And then a miracle happened here at Glide. I began to clean the soot off of my lamp.
What Glide provided was the ground, and I could find a place where I could really begin to define myself. I was so self-centered and solipsistic, and I was full of self-pity, and I was into all these romantic notions about being a writer, and I was really walking around on a cloud. Each time I saw a community evolving from Glide, when we started the food program for the people on the streets and the homeless, I saw my life and theirs, and I began to understand what compassion really was. Compassion is going beyond yourself.
As Executive Director of Programs and President of Glide, Janice Mirikitani oversees 35 programs that provide comprehensive human services. She and her husband, the Reverend Cecil Williams, along with staff and volunteers, assist over 500 people a month for substance abuse, and the dining room serves over 1 million meals a year. Each program, including the Computer Learning Center, the Children's Center, and the Women's Support Group, encourages individuals to make change through spiritual growth.
In order to create an effective program, truly the people who had experienced the condition were the ones who had to help define it.
You want to get off drugs, you want to change your life, this is the place.
But it is really important to me that we have self-esteem programs, self-worth programs, self-defining programs for women particularly. Because if you're poor, and if you're of color, and if you come from a different culture or different background, if you've been through 3 and 4 generations of poverty, that the family needs to be redefined.
A third-generation Japanese American, Janice Mirikitani is also a choreographer and a critically acclaimed poet and author of several books, including the most recent, We the Dangerous. Her writings reflect her experiences with cultural diversity, attitudes toward Asian American women, and racism.
I believe that racism and the camp experience with my family and 120,000 Japanese Americans during World War II was a very influential event in my life. What I'm compelled to write about, and what the act of writing itself is for me, is the act of breaking silence. We must recognize ourselves at last. We are a rainforest of color and noise. We hear everything. We are unafraid. Our language is beautiful.
Over 30 years ago, Pauline Lowe Elker was a pioneer in America's computer industry. As a software engineer, she did very well in a male-dominated field, but she had a mind for marketing and has used her skills and knowledge so successfully, she has helped to build several Silicon Valley companies. Pauline is now president and CEO of Network Peripherals Incorporated.
Hi guys, how are you? I live the life of an underdog. It's always from the position of disadvantage, or from the position where people say you just can't do it. So I find that most challenging. Not challenging it from a difficulty standpoint, that stimulates me.
Pauline Lowe Elker was born in China, but during the 1949 revolution, her family moved to Hong Kong. She came to the United States in 1960 to attend Arizona State University. Her first job was as a typist for General Electric's computer department.
About 2 months later, such a job came up, the job I wanted. And I got it. So ever since then, I've been progressing. So the first 13 years of my career in computer electronics industry was in software engineering.
Although she has never had a class in marketing, one of her co-workers noticed her skills and encouraged her in that direction.
And I thought, well, sounds good to me and sounds very fascinating, something new for me. I know nothing about what marketing means, and it sounds just fine, right? So I said, okay, I'll join you guys.
Yeah, this is a test fixture to...
Pauline Lowe-Elker has used her marketing and leadership skills to launch 5 startup ventures in high technology. She has guided each to profitability and growth by recognizing that there is no set formula for success.
No matter how brilliant you are, the brilliant idea, the people, the product, the technology, it doesn't matter. The market has to be there first. And then if there isn't, you have to really find the right people, the right partners, so to speak, to help you build a team together. Some committed to the same vision.
In less than 5 years, Pauline Lowe-Elker has transformed network peripherals into a recognized leader in the client-server networking industry. By applying her marketing strategies, company sales have grown from $500,000 in 1990 to more than $47 million in 1995. Although she's reached the top in her field, Pauline enjoys new challenges in interacting with some of the younger stars of the high-tech industry.
This has become kind of a passion of mine, working with younger people, because I think they are our future. By working with them and instilling some of the right experience or